Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Lynn Princess here. I left you guys in suspense in my previous video, and this is part 2 of my dad's story. So if you're new here, kindly subscribe, make sure to like, leave a comment, and kindly share this video with your friends. So apparently we reach at KNH. I see my cousin and his wife, my uncle and his wife at the mortuary entrance. So of course, even without being told something, I already made a conclusion that dad is no more. So the driver drives in the mortuary, and my uncle was just making endless phone calls here and there with my cousin, and my uncle always knows me as a very strong woman. So my uncle asks me if I'm comfortable going to see my dad before he's taken to the morgue. And of course, I was the only child there. My brother was in school, my other brother was in school, my sister was in the village. So I was the only person near him. So I said, yeah, for the sake of my family, I will have to do this. I didn't know at this point that my mom had been crying all along and she was taken, I don't know where, for some checkup or something. So I went in with the sisters. I saw my dad's body on a mortuary stretcher, and for all my healing journey, for all the counseling sessions that I went for overcoming grief, this is the only thing that I've always struggled with taking out of my mind. If even when I was a student and the morgue attendants had to come for patients in the ward, I still had that bad experience that I look at a patient on the morgue stretcher and I see like the picture of my dad right before my eyes. And I've always hoped that one day I'll heal from this experience. And I didn't know that I still have this picture in mind until a friend asks me whether I'll be interested to do locums at KNH, and I just turned it down because I felt like I still have some unhealed experiences with that facility. So at this point, calls were made in school to release my brother to go home because he was in high school at Father Makewa. Calls were made home, so everybody at home knew dad is no more. So people are already walking physically to our home. This happens in, I think, all villages. People just gather and they're there with other people. It was still in the morning, and my sister Yvonne and Victor were at home. Our last born was not at home because I think I mentioned before that she was unwell, so she went to stay with my sister at the nearest market because that's where she was working. So Yvonne and Victor just all of a sudden see people walking in the house, and Victor, being the elder one, of course makes a conclusion. But then we had a tough time. I don't know why the hospital policies have it very strict that hospital bills must be cleared before people get out of a morgue. Because my uncle wasn't comfortable leaving my dad there. He really wanted us to transfer him from KNH mortuary to Montezuma in Machakos. Trust you me, it took us the whole day and half of the night to have all that done, because my uncle had to make calls. They had to get money to clear, I don't know how many millions of hospital bill. And then now we had to start the procedure of transferring a body from there to Montezuma. So the sisters, at this point, Sister Alice had already told me the truth. She knew. She packed my clothes and gave to Sister Margaret. All along, I knew Sister Margaret had her clothes carried in that suitcase, but it was my clothes because I was supposed to go home with my family. So yeah, the sisters prayed with us and they went back in the community. So I was left with my auntie and my cousin and my uncle. So as they did all these, I was with my auntie, and I always don't remember where my mom was at this point. I've thought about this many times, but I don't know where my mom was. I only know she had cried a lot and she was taken for a checkup, but I don't know where she went after that, because all this time I only remember going around with my auntie, my uncle, and my cousin. So I still have that picture of him on that stretcher, and these people reminding us consistently that if you need to transfer this body from here to Machakos, you have to have the hospital be cleared. It was a lot for my uncle. To him, maybe I've never had like a formal time to say thank you to Uncle Patrick, Cousin Muendo, and Mama Ryan. Thank you for that night. I still remember tumelala kwa nyasi with Mama Ryan. We had not eaten anything the whole day. We had cried. We had broken down. But we didn't have an option. So after a whole day of torture, struggle, finding money, I don't know where, I don't know who my uncle was calling, I don't know who my cousin was calling, but at the end they managed to clear the bill and we were given permission to take my dad's body from KNH to Montezuma. So here I am again with my dad on a stretcher again at Montezuma, and he's actually supposed to be cleaned up and then put in the fridge before we leave. Oh God, I didn't know I needed this moment because I found it as the easy way to healing. Just face whatever hard thing you have to face when it's there, and it will help you heal. If you feel like crying when you're mourning, just cry. Don't ever tell someone who is mourning, atiwacha kulia, it will be well. No, just let them cry because that is actually the easiest way to heal from an experience. If you feel broken about something and you feel you wanna cry and that will help you, just cry. So don't go ahead to a grieving friend and to then encouraging them to stop crying. I remember this one pastor came to our home because I think he was a friend to dad. So he comes home to comfort us and he's telling us to cry like Christians. And for a minute I'm like, what exactly do you mean we cry like Christians? Do you mean in as much as we know that death is part of God's plan for us, we're not supposed to mourn our own? And then I'm like, when I grow up and I will be dealing with people who are grieving, I will let them cry because it's something very helpful in grief process. So we get done at around midnight. I remember it was very, very late at night. So we have my dad rest at Motenzuma in Machakos and we head home. It was late. My uncle was tired. He had not even taken a cup of water the entire day. So we go to a hotel. I know my uncle will find this funny with my auntie because I still remember every detail of everything that happened that night. So we go to a hotel and eat. I'm still in my postulancy uniform. So we go to a hotel, eat, and then we go home. Of course, by the time we get home, my sisters had slept. My Everybody at home had slept, but there were a lot of neighbors around. So we get home, it was a long night. At this point, I saw my mom. So I always don't understand mom left us at KNH and went home or what exactly happened. So we find mom there. She looked strong because I think she had seen my dad suffer out of the pain of cancer until it reached a point she really wished him to be out of it. In as much as the pain was much on her side, there was a part of her seeing him rest from a lot of pain. Cancer is painful, and this was blood cancer, and mercury blood is in all the systems of the body. So my dad was in a lot of physical pain. So he had rested from the pain, but then he had left us. So we sleep, and then the following day, I was told to tell my sisters who are in class 3 and 4. So, how am I supposed to tell these young girls that their father is dead? So, I lied to them. They were reminding me last night when I told them I'm coming to give a story about my dad. And then our last one said, don't forget to mention the part that you lied to us that we were going to the shamba, and then you told us what exactly had happened when honestly we all knew. So I tell them tuende kwa shamba, and before even we went far, I just told them the fact. Of course, I took my own wisdom on how to do it, and then I told them. So I always remember one thing Yvonne said. Yvonne, anybody who knows, Yvonne is biologically not our sister, but she's our cousin whose mom passed immediately after she was born. So immediately after the mom died, my mom took her. So I always remember what Yvonne asked me. Do you want to tell me God took my mother, gave me dad, and now he has taken him again? And I'm like, what? So what exactly am I supposed to respond to such a thing from a kid in class 4. So we say the prayer. I am a very prayer. I just pray in every situation. Just pray in every situation. I pray. So we say the prayer, and I told them it's gonna be well, and we went back home. So of course they were crying almost every other time. We had breakdowns. We buried dad in a very respectful way. Thanks to everyone who came. I remember there were so many priests, so many religious sisters from my congregation. The Daughters of the Sacred Heart was the most supportive family ever during this period of time. So yeah, I we buried daddy and I went back to the convent after, of course, after some time. So I thank God that I was in the convent because I had a good healing journey. I went for counseling. My formator had many counseling sessions for me. And I didn't know that this will change everything because from the moment we buried our dad, life has never been the same again. So actually, me leaving the convent, the first thought came at this point because I could look at my mom, the kids who have been left behind, and I was like, this will be tough. So true to what I thought, things became tough, and I felt that my family needed me because my mom was going through a lot. My uncles became so cruel. They wanted mom to go back kwao, ati whatever was keeping her there has gone. So my mom used to call me and she was crying every other time. Life became hard on our side and I went through formation well. I did my profession well, but things were just getting tough for mom. My brothers had grown, my sisters had grown, we needed school fees. So it's at this point that I felt, you know what? I should just go out there, go to school, and get some money to help my family. So the reason I left the convent was because I felt I could financially save my family. If I am at that position today, I would make a very different decision because you can never save your family from whatever they're going through. You can never, in as much as you can do much for them, you can never be a savior to your family. And in as much as I felt mom was not in a position to do much on her own, to my surprise, even today, my mother sends me money. Yes. In as much as I felt my family financially needed me, it comes a point and mom says, wacha nikuwekee kitu kidogo, understand? So, to any religious who feels like the family is suffering financially and you want to save them from that, may this video just save your vocation because you will never financially save your family. Just pray for your family, keep hoping for the best, and if you can have connections, if you can have some networks that will probably put your brothers or your sisters in some good jobs, just have that. But you as a person, you can never be the person who will financially save your family. You can do something, but not much. So thank you for watching this video. Make sure to follow me and subscribe for more, and see you in the next video. Thank you.